There are toys and there are tools. Let me tell you the story. So I get a call from the Honeywell rep. He's promising to. He wants us to sell their batteries and promising higher margins. I don't think he knows about our reputation and how brand loyal we are. So I asked him to send him over anyway. Go ahead, send him. I'd like to check him out. So he did. So a few days later, the box shows up. Wow, they're here. Let me check it out. So I open the box and there they are. Geez, they look like a Motorola. They feel like maybe a Motorola. A little different design, but let's check them out. Let's see what makes them what they are, why they promise this high margin. I took a look at it. I put it on the radio, check it out. How does it fit? Does it wiggle? Is it loose? Does it make connectivity? Is the radio power on and off? What happens with this? The next part of the test looks great on the outside. What's it look like on the inside? That's when I brought it outside, decided to give a little test of my own. So I took the Honeywell battery and tossed it up in the air and watched it, and it landed, and to my surprise, it smashed open. I'm shocked at that. I picked it up. It's hard plastic. It's not durable at all. It's just like it shattered open. There's little spaghetti wires inside. They were just taped on. There was a Post-it looking note type of thing that was glued together. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Not a tool. Well, because that test was so short, I ran inside and grabbed a Motorola battery, one that we had kicking around, and decided to give it the same test, only be fair. So I tossed it up into the air and it bounced, and I picked it up and I tossed it into the air and it bounced, and still no damage. So I threw it as high as I could, and again it bounced, and I did that 32 times, and caught the interest of one of the service tech that was inside. So he came wandering out, wondering what I was doing, and I couldn't break the Motorola battery, so I gave it to him. He's a little bigger guy, and he smashed it on the ground. He slam dunked it twice, and finally we were able to pry it open. Jeez, 32 times? 2 slam dunks, you finally broke the tab. That's it. To share the results with our customers, we created a display that had the competitor batteries as well as the Motorola batteries on display for them to see. When they see it, they understand why that battery is so inexpensive, and the quality of the Motorola battery. They can see that there's brand name cells. They can see that it's all flex circuitry, not that it's spaghetti wires and generic cells, and they can actually touch it and feel it and see what's inside that battery. We had a customer stop in that had a competitive battery on his radio. We got a customer that's waiting. He's saying that his radio's not lasting out. It's only running about half hour or so before it dies. Okay. Can you check that out for me?
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks. Because he was replacing his batteries a lot more often than he should have, because he was buying cheaper batteries.
Everything's within specs.
The radio's good.
Yeah, did have an aftermarket battery on it, so this has to be bad. It's just not performing.
And saw our display and saw the spaghetti wires sticking out of one, and the poor welding, and no brand name cells inside another battery. Asked if we had one in stock for his radio, a Motorola battery. We did, and he took it out to our parking lot and see how tough his battery was. Because he was replacing his batteries a lot more often than he should have, because he was buying cheaper batteries. After seeing the display and being shown the facts, he's then come back to Motorola and understands why they cost a little bit more. I've got a Proven Tough brochure that I'd like to mail out to you. I really love the Proven Tough marketing campaign, because we can leave it behind with our customers to show them the facts, to help combat against the fax machine that's always coming in, it's always turned on. Typically we'll receive a phone call for batteries, and they're really quick to tell us about this fax that they just received for a $40 or $50 battery versus the Motorola $125 battery that they get choked up on that. Typically they're shopping for a price because they received a fax. You don't have all the facts. They did send you a fax, but not the facts. And this is a tough market out there. People call up and say, hey, my Motorola radio isn't working. It's broke. It's junk. Well, it's not junk. The radio's fine. It's the junk on the back. It's that cheap battery that you've put on there that's not holding up. The battery's important because the radio won't work without it. And in the public safety, it's your lifeline. And there are tools and toys, and what you need is a tool.